Atlanta Motorspeedway. This weekend, I will say, was some great racing. It's the new Atlanta that's been paved over for a few years now. It's more like almost restricted plate like Daytona. Still has a drafting package. So it's a part of the Daytona situation, but it's not a full restricted plate, but yeah. So let's get right into it. You have Craftsman Truck Series. The winner of that race, none other than the general himself, Mr. Kyle Busch. Now, KBM is no longer, he kind of sold his equipment to Spire. So he was running under Spire and ended up getting a win with that truck. By him winning with a truck race that had over 7 cautions, not as much as Daytona, but still had a decent number of cautions in it. One of them was even caused by Bailey Curry. You know, he had the Atlanta thing going on. He was in Atlanta. His truck probably felt like time to let the whip get naked. So the roof became missing, and the debris from the roof made a caution come out, and Bailey Curry had to park it. NASCAR like, we don't know if the aerodynamics or the downforce, we don't know how that helps them, so they parked him. I'm trying to tell you, the picture of his roof, it looks like an old school T-top roof. I ain't gonna even lie. Smirk like that. Christian Eckes, he was doing pretty well after stage 1, but then he had to park his because he was having an issue with the whole mechanical issue with brakes. So we're not sure exactly what exactly went wrong with that, but we definitely believe it was a brake issue. He couldn't stop while he was on pit road and stuff like that. He was going around the track, and then he just had to park it. So I know he was upset about that, but Kyle Busch even took a couple stage wins in his race. So that man's still showing you. He only could race 5 times a season in the trucks, but he's still showing you. One of them times, he wins Atlanta again. So then we go to Xfinity Series. Who wins? None other than Austin Hill. So he's done back to back to back to back. So basically, he won 2 Daytonas, and he's won 2 Atlantas in a row. The man is Mr. Super Speedway. I ain't gonna hold you. Smell like that. So Austin Hill, the way he won on the overtime restart was crazy because his teammate, Jesse Love, didn't pit when everybody else pitted, so he gambled. And he ended up not having enough to go to the finish line, so Austin Hill won. There were other Fords that end up causing that caution that caused the restart. You had Riley Herbst, Cole Custer, Haley Deegan, and Ryan Sieg. Jesse Love, he ended up finishing 12th, even though he led 157 laps of the race. So that's gotta suck. He took a gamble, thought it was gonna pay off. He ended up coming up short in the gas tank, and his teammate from RCR, Austin Hill, is 2-0 right now. Youngin is back to back to back to back, like I say, young. The dude is just killing it when it comes to these speedway tracks, man. But these draft packages, I'm trying to tell you. And so far, they saying he up the board, so you can't get mad. Inspection, post, saying, my man good. Georgia boy does well in his daggone home track once again. And the crazy part on top of this race, you would think it was a lot of cautions in the Xfinity Series, but it wasn't. Surprisingly, J.J. Yeley was only 1 caution that happened in the first 2 stages when he self-spun. Now, luckily, that was only a 1-car caution. So you have that. That was fine. Chandler Smith finished behind Austin Hill in 2nd for Joe Gibbs Racing. And then you had Shane Van Gisbergen. He ended up finishing 3rd. So he's been having a pretty good start to his season as well. On to the Cup Series. Now, what I mean to tell you, I really, really, really enjoyed this race because of the simple fact that the photo finish, you had Kyle Busch in the middle, Ryan Suarez on the right, Ryan Blaney on the left. They had to go review it because I think the announcers were saying that it was 0.003 seconds in between each car. The photo finish is crazy. So shout out to all 3 of them. And shout out to Ryan Suarez because he had got looped up into that first caution that came out on lap 2. Mind you, This is in lap 2 alone, just when the race started. Lap 2, this man, or shall I say, a whole bunch of people got wrapped up in a caution. It was the most that Atlanta Motor Speedway has ever seen on record, which was 16 cars. There was over 32 cars involved in wrecks during the whole field. So it was what, only 36 cars in the race? And about a good 32, 33 of them were involved in some type of wreck. Kyle Larson, he was doing well. That hurt him. He got into a couple of wrecks which ended up ending his day. He come back from a wreck. Same thing with Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, his team was helping get him back on there. And then he got into a situation what I believe was Ross Chastain. Him and Bubba were going for who would be lucky dog for the next caution. And I think that might have had Ross push up. You know, he kind of pushed Chase Elliott, and that's how Chase Elliott spun out of control. But Chase Elliott still was able to get back out there. He just didn't win the race. We had one, like I said, lap 159, Logano. Logano was doing good. Like, he was doing his thing. But that thing would not turn. He got to a point where he got real tight, washed up the track. He wrecked out, and he couldn't win after that. Then you go to lap 240, Chase Briscoe. Now, this young guy was being very aggressive, and some drivers probably didn't like it, but, you know, aggressive works for only so long. We was going full wide on lap 50. That's what I mean. This race was a lot of passing, a lot of good driving, and then the aggressiveness of Chase Briscoe. He'll see a hole, won't. He see another hole, won't. He was in and out. But the thing was, he ran out of holes. And when we run out of holes, what happened? So he was checking up because Denny Hamlin was on his left side, but also Denny Hamlin had somebody to his driver's side. And then there was somebody on the outside of Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe checked up, and then he tried to come into Denny Hamlin's lane thinking that Denny probably was going to move down, but Denny couldn't because there was a car there. Chase Briscoe ended up getting collected up in that. It was GG's for that. So, you know, like I said, aggressive is good, but at the same time, you be the odd man out. Todd Gillian. Shout out to this man. This is a third generation racer. And he was in the mix the whole entire race. Like, he even led some laps. We got to give it up for that guy for doing that. But he did say when it was only like 16 laps to go, just to let you know the mind of a racer when you're on these type of draft tracks. He said it's fun, but he's also scared for his life. Which even Kevin Harvick said, yeah. So that goes through your mind when you're sitting there like, dang, these draft packages, once you're in it, you're in it. It's fun to be in it, but reality sets in that you're in it. And sometimes you could be checking with the checker, or you can be wrecking. And what I mean to tell you, like I said, lap 50, they was going full wide. If you lifting, you quitting. And these people was not trying to lift. I'm talking about they was not trying to lift until they had no choice but to lift. With 12 to go, Austin Cindric, he had to lift. He was coming out of turn 1, and Bubba Wallace has seemed to have, first Austin Hendrick checks up, then Bubba Wallace gets a little loose, so he checks up. And Josh Berry, I think, caught a little bit of the air came off of Bubba onto Josh Berry's car, got him kind of loose. He ends up going into Carson Hocevar, almost lifts that car up. Carson Hocevar, he was doing pretty good. Top 15, he was racing in before all this occurred. So then after that, Josh Berry hits the wall. I think he broke his toe link. And then he also had Chase Elliott involved in that wreck. So Chase Elliott was involved in a few wrecks as well. And did y'all know that Kyle Larson, in the last 5 races at Atlanta, Kyle Larson has been somewhere involved in a wreck in those last 5 races at Atlanta? Dang, Hendrick probably like, Atlanta don't like us for some reason. I mean, Kyle Larson still performs, but 5 Atlanta races, he's been involved in some type of wreck in it. And this is a track record. There were 47 lead changes at this track today. Plus the photo finish. That's all we can ask for when it comes to NASCAR. Besides all these daggone commercials, please stop with the commercials. I don't understand. Sometimes the commercials happen, and then when y'all come back, y'all got to rewind. It's not like basketball, football. Ain't no timeouts unless it's a stage break. I don't know what they got to do media-wise, marketing-wise, sponsor-wise, all the commercials. Please. F1's able to do it. See what they got going on. Because F1 is doing their thing. NASCAR. Somehow, someway, we got to stop with all these daggone commercials. Get them in between the cautions or stage breaks. We need more side-by-side. Talk about this is the last scheduled side-by-side. No. When there's only that many laps to go, no, we need side-by-side on the regular. Smell like that. So please, somehow, someway, please can we work that out? Please, help us out. But like I said, it was great racing this weekend. This coming weekend, those boys are now going to the West Coast. Vegas, baby. Sin City. So I can't wait to see how that's going to be. Make sure y'all continue to follow me on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everything at Smack Like That. And if y'all was feeling this, make sure y'all go ahead, like, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell, ding, hit that joint, so y'all can be notified every time I drop a short, every time I drop a video. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know I'm always here to talk about motorsports, gaming, and boxing. Y'all already know. Y'all make sure y'all keep that go smack mentality. Smack like that!